Hey guys, welcome back to another Shep Talk. Welcome back to another movie review. This time we will be reviewing The Irishman. Now, just a small thing. I want to apologize for the sort of lack of videos recently. The end of the year of 2019 and the beginning of 2020 has been really busy for me, so it's been really hectic. I've tried to get these videos out before the end of the year. It didn't happen. And then 2020, even though it's only the 6th right now that I'm recording this, has been really busy for me. So I apologize for not getting these videos out to you quicker, but here we are. It's January 2020 and I'm ready to dive back in and get these videos out to you. So quick synopsis. Robert De Niro plays Frank, who is a loyal Union man that gets brought on board to the Irish Mafia to help protect Jimmy Hoffa, played by Al Pacino, as well as do some cleanup work on the sides when people don't really see things going either the Mafia's way or Jimmy Hoffa's way. So let's dive into what the segment that I'm calling What Worked for Me. And I'm sure you guys have heard this before. I'm not going to recite anything that's groundbreaking, but the first thing right off the bat is the acting. You have Robert De Niro, you have Joe Pesci, you have Al Pacino, all directed by Martin Scorsese. It is just brilliant work. It's the reason why these guys are almost synonymous pretty much with these mafioso movies. They bring the gravitas to these movies, to these scenes, and even with these actors in the age that they're at, still give us performances that just are top notch. If nothing else about this movie, the acting alone will make me recommend this movie to people and be like, go see The Irishman, go watch it on Netflix. I know one of the limiting factors on it is that it is 3.5 hours long. It is very long. And I will say, for the most part, overall, it doesn't feel like it's 3.5 hours long. Is there slaw? Does it slow down sometimes? Yes, but it doesn't really make it feel like you're slowing down. The second thing that I think worked for me in this movie is the setting, the going back into time, because this movie takes place, I think, I want to say the 50s to the 2000s, to like right at 2000. And Martin Scorsese, man, that guy is a brilliant director, and I wish I could tell you who the director of photography was. But just bringing those early periods to life, showing us once again, too, that we could have this type of mafioso film in the 21st century, in 2019, and hopefully going forward, these movies still could be made and still be made right and still be well done and give us these classic scenes. You know, it just, I felt like I was going back watching The Godfather, watching Goodfellas, watching, Casino. It just brought me back to those feelings of, watching the old school mafioso movies and just being immersed in it. And then again, Martin Scorsese, as well as Robert De Niro, because he had a hand in this, the story of Frank pretty much shadowing all these people in real life, because these are real life people. Jimmy Hoffa's a real life person. All the mob bosses and people that he was interacting with were all real life. They even give you like these little, instead of waiting till the end, like, you see, oh, this happened to so and so, to so and so. Martin Scorsese does it with you throughout the movie. So you meet this character or this person, and it'll tell you, like so and so, got shot in the face on the porch and died, July of 1992. And so that added stuff to me. The story was just really well done. Is it what really happened to Jimmy Hoffa? No one really knows, because no one knows what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. They do believe that he did butt heads with the Italian Mafia, because Jimmy wanted one thing, the Mafia wanted another thing, and they were just two powerhouse, going at it, and one had to give. And obviously, Hoffa thought he was more untouchable than he really was, and the Mafia showed him pretty much he wasn't. But no one really knows, or at least I have not heard really the definitive of what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. But we all know that or we all believe that the Italian Mafia took him out. But the story here was phenomenal. Like I said, it is a long movie. It is 3.5 hours long. But Martin Scorsese gives us a movie that, even in its down peaks, is still really well done and doesn't really feel like you're going through a lot of valleys. The de-aging process, it is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I even watched a video that LFL did showcasing the de-aging process and how they came about doing it, because it's not Disney's de-aging process. It's a whole new, LFL built a whole new process because they wanted to be able to shoot it without people having dots and everything on their face. Martin Scorsese wanted the actors to be able to perform without having any restrictions on themselves. And so it really does work. Like, there are scenes, and I'm going to get into it shortly, that threw me off, but for, like, I'll say 85 to 95% of this time, the de-aging process worked for me. Well done. I liked it, but I hope we don't really see this becoming the norm. And to get on that, to follow up with that, let's go to my other segment. My gripes. Now, as I said, the de-aging process did work, but when I say that I hope Hollywood this doesn't become the norm, what I'm talking about is the simple fact there's scenes that take place, say with the younger family, younger actors, it got in my head because I know it's de-aging. I know Robert De Niro is not that, that young, that I'm like, okay, so we have this 20-year-old actor or actress, acting with Robert De Niro, who I know is a much older gentleman, and, it's like believing that they're going to be romantically involved, believing that this young family is, together kind of thing. I also think this de-aging process worked for here because there was no really action scenes. It was pretty much character-driven, plot-driven. So I don't know if there were action scenes or if there were any high stunts needed that were cut out because Martin Scorsese wanted to use Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, and, Robert De Niro. But that's my other thought about it, is like, de-aging is fine for movies that it's plot-driven, it's character-driven, and there is no need for, younger talent that could do these stunts and performances. And I know people are going to say, oh, you could bring in stuntmen and stuff like that, but then it starts getting into this big thing when most of the time an actor can do at least 50% to 60% of his own stunts, their own stunts. And some of the scenes can become more believable knowing that that actor or actress can perform. Vice having, put a stunt person in there, or knowing that, because the actor is like 80 years old, that you're going to cut that scene out because they can't perform it and people wouldn't believe it if they saw it in the theaters. And like I've said before, the runtime is not too much of a factor. It is 3.5 hours long, like I've mentioned. There are some slow points. There are some scenes that could probably have been trimmed or cut to get it to more of a 3-hour movie, or maybe even a little lower. But again, it didn't really feel that bad to me. I really enjoyed this movie. I watched it at home over the holiday break, and I thought it really worked. Especially at home, it's very easy to go ahead and pause the movie, go to the bathroom, get yourself something to eat, get something to drink, come back and hit that pause button again and play the movie. It was playing locally in my theaters, but it was like an hour away. And so I was like, I didn't really want to drive an hour to see a 3.5-hour movie and then drive an hour back. That was a lot of time to commit to one movie. So I decided to wait till it came on Netflix. And then with the holidays, it just became, all right, I have a week pretty much off. What am I going to do? I watched The Irishman and I watched some other movies. And guys, I'm going to give The Irishman 4 out of 5 Sheps. I think it was phenomenal. It wasn't perfect, but it was still a great movie. I highly recommend it to people. If you're a fan of that old school mafioso movies, if you're a fan of Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, you will love this movie. Give it a chance. If you have a free day or free evening, take it with The Irishman. Alright guys, like always, thank you for watching. If you like what you see here, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. It helps my channel out greatly, and I truly do appreciate it. And until next time,